A prison officer has been jailed after smuggling over £100,000 worth of drugs and phones into Forest Bank prison. Farrah Jones was 28, a prison custody officer working for a transport service for inmates, was seen by colleagues going into the toilet at a reception at HMP Forest Bank. The toilet was searched, with colleagues finding 2 plastic wrap packages in the paper bin. They were later found to contain yellow and white tablets and cannabis resin. Whilst they were searching the toilet, a prisoner who worked in the reception as a trustee asked to go to use the bathroom because he was very, very desperate. The prosecutor, Henry Blackshaw, said this man was desperate to go to the bathroom, and it is thought that had the packages not been intercepted, this man would have been the likely route by which they would have been further smuggled onto the wings of the prison. That evening, on November the 30th of last year, Jones was found sitting in a car which was parked with its lights on in Little Hulton by officers after they smelt cannabis in the air. Also in the car was her close friend, Stephen Wimbledon. Both were arrested and Jones tested positive for cocaine. The car was searched, revealing huge quantities of drugs as well as multiple iPhones, Zanco phones, phone chargers and a knife. And in the boot of the car, officers also recovered a pistol with live rounds. This pistol also had the DNA of Wimbledon. Jones's home, where she lived with her parents, was searched, and officers found £10,000 in cash hidden in her bedroom. At Wimbledon's address, they found drug paraphernalia, a body gun holster, 9 burner phones, numerous SIM cards, and other drug paraphernalia. Of the packages recovered from Forest Bank, there were over 100 grams of individually wrapped deals of ketamine, 191 tablets of an unknown drug, 239 steroids, and almost £10,000 worth of cannabis. And of the bags found in the car, there was a number of items including multiple iPhones, chargers, liquid testosterone, tramadol, 39 SIM cards, 2 Wi-Fi dongles, and 37 mobile Zanco phones. The total street value of the items recovered was around £30,000. However, the prosecutor said that value increases within prison to sell for a premium at typically 4 or 5 times the value outside of the prison, so the total value of the goods within the prison was over £140,000. Jones was said to have had no previous convictions, and Wimbledon had offences on his record for dishonesty, possession of a knife, and possession of drugs. In mitigation for Jones, the solicitor said she was not directing this, she was simply doing it at the request of others for reward. He accepted there must have been previous drop-offs by Jones due to the cash that was found in her bedroom. He said his client was in debt at the time and had a previous history of being the victim of domestic abuse, as well as problems with drug use, and she felt her mental health was spiraling down, and so when an opportunity arose to make some quick money, she took it. She expresses real remorse and disappointment that she fell prey to that. She has lost a good name, a good character, and a good career. The sentencing judge, John Potter, said those items are used entirely for power and control in prison by organised criminals, which inevitably undermines security in the prison itself. You fully know that your activity would place the welfare of prisoners and your colleagues at risk, and these actions by you were inspired by greed and selfishness, carried out in a gross breach of trust bestowed on you by reason of your employment. Jones was jailed for 4 years, of which he's going to be serving half in prison. A proceeds of crime act hearing has been set for November the 12th. Her prosecutors will attempt to claw back her ill-gotten gains. She previously pleaded guilty to conveying a list Class A and B articles into prison, conspiracy to convey List A and List B articles into prison, possession of a knife, and possession of criminal property. Wimbledon was jailed for 5 years after he admitted possession of a firearm and ammunition and possession of Class B drugs. And guys, in this next news story, a 17-year-old who stabbed a teenager on a dance floor has been jailed for life for his murder. Ure Varibrus, who was found guilty of murder and having a bladed article at a previous hearing, was ordered to serve at least 16 years at Brighton Crown Court. Judge Christine Henson lifted reporting restrictions on naming Varibrus and said it had been a particularly grave crime which had shocked the community. Charlie Cosser, who was 17 from Surrey, was stabbed 3 times in the chest in a marquee at a party in Warnham in West Sussex last July. Sentencing, the judge said instead of what should have been the end of an academic year celebration, Charlie was stabbed. The impact of the loss of Charlie to his family and friends is immeasurable. She said she accepted it was a spontaneous incident and it was not certain that Varibrus brought the knife to the party, but she told Varibrus it was a significant factor. You knew the knife was available to you during the evening and you were in possession of it. She said you armed yourself with a knife on the dance floor. Charlie's mother said he had become a groundman apprenticeship and was excited about going on holiday for the first time with his friend, which he had been saving up for. And she said, we have the life sentence and Charlie has no life. No sentence will be long enough for my child's murder. It doesn't bring Charlie back. And since Charlie's death, the family has set up Charlie's Promise, a charity dedicated to fighting knife crime. In mitigation, Farrah Jones KC said Varibrus would turn back time if he could, adding he will always be known for something he cannot even remember that was the work of a drunken few seconds. She said he understood Charlie did not deserve what happened to him and his family did not deserve to lose their son. During the trial, the court heard Varibrus and his friends were asked to leave the party and Charlie was stabbed after a fight broke out. Witnesses said they saw Varibrus, who was then 16, drenched in blood and heard himself stab someone. A statement from Charlie's father said, our son Charlie was just 17 years old when he went out to a party and never came home. The evil and cowardly act by Huda Varibrus deprived Charlie of a very bright and exciting future and took him away from his mum, a dad, a brother and a sister who loved him more than words can say. His extended family and his friends have also lost someone that they loved very much, and Charlie Cossa was a beautiful human being and this world is a lot worse off without him. But we will ensure, as his family and loved ones, that he is never, ever forgotten. Senior Investigating Officer, Detective Chief Inspector Kimball Eddy, said this was a devastating crime which has had a huge impact on the family of Charlie as well as the lives of so many other young people. He said, I would like to say thank you to Charlie's family for their support throughout this complex investigation and to say thank you to all the witnesses for coming forward and the community for their support. This is what has made it possible to get justice for Charlie, his family and loved ones and friends. This tragic case demonstrates the lasting impact that carrying a knife can have, and not only has Huda Varibrus robbed Charlie of his life, but his actions have also had a devastating and lasting impact on his own and countless others. Charlie's father also made a promise to fight for justice and not let his life be in vain, and also vowed to speak to other young people about the consequences of knife crimes. My message to young people that are thinking of carrying knives is that they need to think twice. If you stab somebody and God forbid kill them, you can't take it back. Carrying a knife as a weapon is no different to carrying a gun. If you're carrying it with the intent to hurt somebody, this is murder. This is a life sentence for you as well as the victims' families. Why would you even want to do that? Said I would encourage anyone in that world to take a step back and have a think about where you are going. It doesn't matter what your upbringing is, where you went to school, or who your parents are. It's not an excuse. You control your own destiny and you have a choice. Some wide words there from Charlie's father. Once again, I just want to say rest in peace, Charlie, and my condolences go out to your family. But there's a number of news stories coming out from the streets of the UK. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.